from just 6 months before he died. He had been known for snapping the football to 4 Super Bowls later to Terry Bradshaw, another Hall of Famer of the Steelers. Junior Seau, Aaron Hernandez, found guilty of murder, called a homicidal rage, killing himself in prison. These former players, each of them gone too soon, too young, were among the 96% of former NFL players diagnosed with CTE in a landmark Boston University study, a brain disease caused by repeated head collisions. 345 former players and growing in the NFL alone. This boy right here, Caden, a 16-year-old sophomore, died just last year, a day after he came off the football field with a head collision. The fact is, moms are saying no to tackle football while the youth leagues are shrinking, high school programs are disappearing, and we see flag football at the Olympics, not tackle football. Tua Tagovailoa's hands froze, our own CEO was knocked out, and the kids are dying. And the parents aren't, they're not watching, they're walking away. And this threatens more than just rosters, but an $187 billion ecosystem. T11 is led by former NFL second-round first pick and Florida Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop, or Scoop as my kids call him. This country boy from Swainsboro, Georgia, has the Midas touch. After 3 NFL contracts, a career at ESPN, he's written a couple of books, and he publicly speaks as well as leads a couple of nonprofits. He's everything that you would want in a CEO in the face of any organization, especially one, of course, that is making a football helmet like we are. Our COO's Enviable Index produced. Albert Strauss, our amazing engineer who leads his own team at AES Designs. He designed the original Pro Cap, which was worn on the fields of the NFL during the 1990s. He's a legend at Syracuse University, having his patented helmets and caps on display there for the entire summer last year. He has DoD contract credentials and connections throughout football and technology, never more than a phone call away. I came along to T11 simply by sharing my story. As a banker and former Marine Corps officer, I gained combat experience and other experience that ingrained in me what we call the process. It's what makes T11 your best choice to win this virtual Warrior Rising pitch competition. At T11, we built a solution that keeps the hits but reduces the harm. The R90 helmet is our patented breakthrough designed not to absorb force but to redirect it. Think of a railroad switch. It doesn't stop the train, it just simply sends it safely in a new direction. It's exactly what the R90 does with energy from an impact. And it works. Our design already shows a 17% improvement in simulated performance versus the second best helmet tested by Virginia Tech. We don't slow the game, we save the players. Patented R90 system can be built into any helmet, providing any user access to the impact collision dispersion technology that, once activated, provides that unmatched level of protection due to the diffusion of energy around the person rather than through the person. It's like any other part, including the face mask or chin strap. And we expect to see it in every football helmet on the market, affording us the leverage to license the technology to every manufacturer, including the leaders of Rydell and Schutt, scaling it across the board. It's lightweight, fast, and stylish. And for the parents shopping at Dick's or Academy, our message is simple. This helmet design reduces the risk of concussions and should be in any helmet you let your kid wear. And they will think it looks amazing too. It's safer for every kid playing football. It's safer for every field where players can run or walk off the field the same way that they came on. This is about stress-free parents who won't have to hold their breath anymore. Yes, our helmets use thermoplastic shells shaped with internal creases and 90-degree top contours. So when a player gets hit, these shapes channel the energy around the head and not through it. It causes purple zone. This reduces trauma. With integrated real-time vitals tracking through our partner, Vital Guard, so parents and coaches get that live data on pulse, oxygen, and more that I briefly mentioned earlier, right from the sideline. We're launching what we call the Georgia 6, home to 163,000 players, all close enough to reach and close enough to let us dominate the market, from Pop Warner to high schools. The most recent data T11 is looking at for the total addressable market is actually about 10.8 million across the US and Canada. And then when we're talking about the certification for mass production, which we're confident that we will reach, a service available market from our Georgia 6 and online purchases through our website Amazon, Walmart, and drop shipping through others across the United States and Canada to incrementally scale up to about 50,000 players during the next 3 years. Our service obtainable market, we expect to be at 100% of that service available market based off of the same operations and logistics that we have, with a forecast of about 3,800 beyond our forecasted capacity for year three. That's just the beginning. We forecast 7 million in revenue in our year one, just from that region, growing to about 23 million by year three. The average helmet should cost about $265 to make, and $425 is what we'll get in revenue for each one, with a $160 margin, or 2.7 to 8.8 million total. We need to sell about 16,000 to reach 7 million, and our work through Green Gridiron for parts, along with our engineers at Corporate providing the shells, and then our partners in logistics from FedEx to veteran carriers moving our helmets. Printify will handle our merchandise orders and will scale through the same partnership. We built T11 from the ground up. Our headquarters is in Atlanta, Georgia, home of the SEC and HBCU National Championship games, as well as the Chick-fil-A College Football Hall of Fame. Ben Troop being signed as our president and CEO, Albert Strauss brought along, as well as our parts distributors, major part distributors, Green Gridiron, and the ability to mass produce before we believe we need to transition into productive licensing of that 50,000. T11 believes we can incrementally grow sales from 16,000 toward the 50,000 range in the next 3 to 5 years, capitalizing on live action games, as well as social media channels, brand experts like Tactica Worldwide, and organic uploads from our players, their respective networks, the casual fans alike. We're seeking 20,000 from Warrior Rising to complete 4 working R90 prototypes for testing and certification. That includes the cast shells and molds for the outer surface, handled by Corbett, validation lab testing by Element Space and Defense, the helmet geometry and simulations by Bert Strauss, and our parts from, again, Green Gridiron. This is the key to mass adoption in safer fields. Our interested parties for both buying and investing have expressed intense interest in the R90 concept. They just want to see it and hold it. From Warrior Rising, we're asking you to put your 20 grand to perhaps the best use of any funds you've ever seen since Jason conceived the idea. There's nothing we can imagine more highly visible for you than America's game whenever you write that check. And then we're also talking about our investors. You see, not only do we want you all to become part of making us the seatbelt of the headgear safety industry, but we want you to be right there with your name in lights right next to ours as we're following your name in lights. We're offering investors up to 12% equity at a $50 million valuation, $5,000 for 1%, which will have the potential return at just $500,000 before we even launch. The other 60 grand, well, we got to pay our engineer. We need to pay him in order to make sure that he shepherds us through the potential juggernaut of a product that we believe we have our hands on. The fact is, though, we're not just selling helmets. We're protecting the future of football. Whole city cultures like Cleveland, Green Bay, or Pittsburgh, any given town in Texas, and every stream of cash flowing through connected industries for the people who make those industries happen, and of course those who want to buy a T11 R90 helmet.